In this tutorial, I'm going to explain MLflow. What is MLflow and how does it work, along with the working demonstration. So this is the Jupyter notebook. So in this tutorial, we are going to see the environment setup and how to manage the experiments, as well as we will see how to track parameters or metrics using MLflow. And we will also see how to register the best model. So to start with, what is MLflow? So MLflow is like a digital lab notebook for ML project that automatically tracks. So it tracks parameters, that is the model hyperparameters, and the metrics which are used for evaluation, like accuracy, precision, recall, etc. Along with that, it also tracks or records the artifacts like charts, confusion matrix, models, etc. So first to start with, we need to install MLflow. For that, we can use the command pip install MLflow if it is not already installed. Or if it is already installed, you need to upgrade to latest version. You can use -u for upgrade. So since it is installed already, I am not going to install. Now, if you want to check the version, MLflow version, then you can run this command MLflow-version. So here you can see it is the latest version, which is 3.1.1. And so I'm going to show you the MLflow UI shortly. So here you can see in the MLflow UI, the version is 3.1.1. Now there are different types of trackings which are available. The easiest one is file-based tracking, wherein uh, all the tracking will happen in MLOps folder, and there is a folder structure created for different models. So in this folder structure, the MLOps tracking will happen. So, but it has, even though it is easy, it has some disadvantages. The second one, or the better method, is creating a database and logging or recording all the metrics and parameters in the database. So in this example, we are going to use a database, and we'll be using a SQLite database wherein we'll be logging the parameters and metrics. And the third option is UI only, wherein you can display the metrics on the UI, but like store and do not store anything. Okay, so we'll be using the second option. Now here it is the initial setup. We are importing few important libraries that includes SQLite. So here to start fresh, in case if MLflow DB is already present, what we are doing is we are clearing everything so that we can start from the beginning. Okay. So when I run this code, what it will do is if there are any files which are already created, they will be deleted. Okay. And then it will initialize your MLflow DB. So there will be a DB which is created called MLflow.db, and it will be connecting to that DB. Okay. So let me run this code. Let me hide this now. So let me execute this code. So here you can see the existing MLflow DB. If it is existing, it is deleted, and then new database file is created. And here you can see the MLflow connection is successful. There is one experiment, the default. So default experiment is there by default, and there are no registered models. And this is the URI, this is the path for the database. So you can see this is the database file that is created, SQLite database. So everything will be logged in this database. Now we need to start the MLflow UI. So in MLflow UI, we are giving the path of the MLflow DB, that is this DB file, so that everything will be tracked in this database, and it will be exposed on the port 5000. So I'm going to run this in the terminal. Okay, so the UI can be accessed from this URL. So here I have pasted the screenshot to show you how the UI looks like. Okay, so this is how your UI looks like. with a default experiment, which is there by default. So let me open the browser and then show you. So this is the URL. So here you can see this is the MLflow URL, and here you can see a default experiment, but there is nothing in the experiment. Everything is blank. And here in the registered models also, there is nothing. It is blank. Now what we are going to do is, after like connecting the database, what we have done is we have launched the UI. The UI is working fine. The next is we are going to create an experiment, and then we'll be providing some information in the form of tags, like what is a project name, team name, dataset. So this is custom and you can choose your own. So every experiment will have a experiment name. So here you can see the experiment name, and okay. So here this is the experiment name that we are giving. So we are giving some experiment name, and let's run this code and then see what we'll get. Okay. So here you can see setting up experiment organization. This is the experiment name it has taken, and the new experiment ID is 1. So this is the ID given to this experiment, and so this is the project folders. So everything is created. So let's see the UI. Earlier, you see only default experiment. Now after this, since we have created a new experiment name with iris classification comprehensive demo, so I will refresh this. Let's see if you are able to see. You can see a new experiment, you will see, but this experiment is blank. I have not done any experiment yet. So I'm yet to do the experiment. Okay. So in the subsequent sections, we'll be doing the experiment. Now here you can see this is how your UI looks like. This is the new experiment created, the blank experiment. And here you can see some additional information that experiment ID is 1 and this is the path. So there is an ML runs folder that is created. So this folder will log all the information. Here you can see there is a lot of information that is logged. Okay, so this is a file-based one. We are going to use database. Database one, everything will be logged in the database. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. So here we are going to perform an experiment. So we'll be taking a simple machine learning um, like program, like load iris. So here we'll be loading the iris dataset, and then we'll be doing some machine learning operation. Like we can separate the features and target, and then we will run the machine learning experiment and then see the results. So let me run this code. So here we are doing the test train split also. And here we are creating the validation set also. So there are three shared sets: training, validation, and test set. Okay. So here we have initialized. So let's run this code. Okay. So let's see what has happened. We have split the data into training, validation, and testing. The training is 60%, validation 20, and test is 20%. And these are the samples. There are total 150 samples. Of that, 30 samples are for training, 90 for training, 30 for validation, and 30 for test. So this is the training and evaluation. So now here we have just done the training. Now we want to log or record the metrics and parameters related to this in the MLflow. So MLflow, in the MLflow, we are going to record. So for example, here, if I reload it, you can see still nothing has happened. The reason nothing has happened is we have just trained the model. We have not logged it, that is recorded it in the MLflow DB. In the next step, we are going to do. So model training with comprehensive logging. So here we are going to train the model and then log it also. Okay. So after doing this, we can see that you can see new experiments created here. Okay. So let's execute this code. See here, you are logging all the parameters, that is hyperparameters. You are logging the metrics. So like accuracy, precision, recall, etc. And then we have some additional information about the models. So let's execute this code. Okay. So here we are running this experiment for three different algorithms. So the first algorithm is logistic regression. The second is random forest. And the third is support vector machine. So we don't know which one is better. So we are running the experiment for three different algorithms. So here you can see the accuracy for all the three algorithms. So this accuracy for say logistic regression is the test accuracy is 0.96. Here it is 0.93 for random forest, and for support vector machine it is 0.9667. Okay. So of these, what we are going to do in the next step is we will be selecting the best model. Okay. So I will just show you. So here earlier there were no experiments. Here you can see the experiments. So I've pasted the URL like the UI, how it looks like. Here, three experiments are there for three different algorithms. Now here, if you click on this one, you can find the details related to it. What is the model type? What is the data set? Training date? Experiment type, it is a classification type. And algorithm family is the support vector classifier. And the status you can see it is completed. And the status here you can say finished. That is green. So which means that it is working. And here you can see all the metrics. Here you can see all the parameters. So here is the summary. So you can run it many times. So you can see more entries here. Now I'll go back here. The same information you can see it for the random forest also. So you can look into the other tabs also. In the other tab, you can see some graphical view of all um, the metrics. And here there is a tab called as artifacts. So here we can get additional like images, etc., or the data set, the output, etc. So now we have done the experiment. We have tried out three methods. Of this, we need to select the best one and then use that for further prediction. So here, if I click on models, you can see it is blank because no model is registered. Now, from these three experiments, I need to pick up the best one and register it. So once I register it, it will be used for the prediction. So I'll go back here. So these are the same screenshot which I've just shown. Now, in this step, what we are going to do is we are going to register it. Okay. So here, what we are doing is we are just checking which model is giving the better accuracy and then select it. Okay. So here you can see the champion is support vector machine and the runner up in the logistic regression. So this is the best model. So we are going to register this model. So here in the previous step, we just compared three different models and then selected this, the best model. In this step, we are going to actually register it. So here you can see that we are registering the model. So register date and so on. So we are using the function called MLflow.register_model. So let's run this and then see. Here you can see model registration is successful. So let's see on the UI. So earlier this was blank. Now here I got the registered model. I'll click here. So here you can see this is the registered model. This is the version 1. That's the first version. And here you can see the winner is the support vector machine. So this model is selected. So this is the same output you get. So this is how MLflow works. So MLflow, as explained, it keeps track record of everything. You can create as many experiments you want. And in each experiment, you can see what all parameters are used. So these are the parameters which are used. So here, in case you want to repeat the same experiment, you can use the same parameters and then repeat the experiment. So basically, it is reproducible. And then you can do as many experiments as possible. And here you will have a track record of all the experiment along with the date and its metrics and the parameters, that is hyperparameters. Thank you for watching the video.